more than 30 years. He was not an overnight sensation. That is true. You know, a lot of these preachers. There was an individual called Father Divine as well. There's now Reverend Moon and people like that. These people have a long battle history. They've been preaching the same message for 30, 40, sometimes 50 years. So they're not a new phenomenon, but something in the environment tends to promote them to the surface. Anyway, let's see. Who's got a Kleenex? I seem to have buried my Kleenex in my. Oh, I found one. It's okay. Bring some. Let's see. He goes on in 53 about some more analysis of these things. Let's see if we can. He analyzes the problem of the black in America after World War II. Again, this problem being called a nigger by his fellow comrades in arms in World War II. And I do admit that the Southern soldiers may have behaved that way. I'm not sure about how many people from the North behaved that way. But he speaks about the Korean War on page 56. So, finally, but in the end, bottom of 56, it's a threat of universal extinction hanging over the whole world, the nuclear threat. That is really the devastating question about man's history. We human beings now have the power to exterminate ourselves, which is what we're worried about now with terrorism. And this is the entire sum of our achievement up till now. This is the best that the white God, can do, according to him. If that's so, then it's time to replace it. With what? So the question is what? And so he gives the black Muslim message here. God is black, all black men belong to Islam, they have been chosen, Islam shall rule the world. The white God is not delivered, perhaps the black God will. Well, as we've seen, I wouldn't want to blame the Afro-Americans for the Islam extremism we're seeing in the world, but I doubt if that God is going to deliver anyone any more than any other God, as we're seeing. Anyway, while I was in Chicago last summer, 57, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad invited me to have dinner at his home. This is a stately mansion on Chicago's South Side and the headquarters of the Nation of Islam movement. I had gone to Chicago to meet I had not gone to meet Elijah Muhammad. He was not in my thoughts. But I did receive this invitation. And it was because of some of the platforms that I had shared. And he mentions then Malcolm X here. One of the platforms that he had shared was with Malcolm X, who is considered the movement's second in command and heir apparent, and points out the cry of violence was not raised, for example, when Israel's fought to regain Israel and so on and so forth. So he talks about Malcolm a bit there, and the NAACP on page 59. Where does it begin, that sentence? I, in any case, certainly refuse to be put in a position of denying the truth of Malcolm's argument simply because I disagree with his conclusions, or in order to pacify liberal conscience. Things are as bad as the Muslims say. They are, in fact, sometimes even worse, and the Muslims don't help matters. But there is no reason that black men should be expected to be more patient, more forbearing, more foreseeing than whites, and so on and so forth. At the end of the television program in which Malcolm and I both appeared, bottom of 59, Malcolm was stopped by a white member of the audience who said, "I have $1,000 an acre of land. What's going to happen to me?" I admired the direction of the man's question, but didn't hear Malcolm's reply because I was trying to explain to someone else the situation of the Irish 100 years ago and the black man today, and so on and so forth. But finally, Malcolm said to him, "Goodbye, Mr. James Baldwin. We'll soon be addressing you as Mr. James X." And I thought for an awful moment, my God, if this goes on much longer, you probably will. Elijah Muhammad had been this show, I think, or had seen this show or another, and he'd been told about me. So, this is how he gets to meet Elijah Muhammad. He's a famous black author. He's been on programs with Malcolm X, and he gets invited to Elijah Muhammad's house. I don't want to keep reading this book to you. You can read most of it yourself, the rest of it. What's the upshot of this meeting with Elijah Muhammad? What happens? Can anyone describe the meeting?